Hey everyone. Can y'all hear me and see me okay? Yes. Hi, welcome. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay, yes, you can. Perfect. Hi. I think there's a slight delay between when I say something and when you hear it. So keep that in mind. I'll try to remember that as well. I just forgot it, but I got it now. Cool. Really glad to have you all here. I'll just wait another 30 seconds to a minute so more people can join us. Okay, so short introduction for those of you who don't know me yet. I think many of you actually don't. My name is Stephanie. I've been working for VanHack for about 2 years now. Okay, nowadays my main role is I do a little bit of product management and a little bit of like customer success. So I'm in charge of the verification processes, onboarding process, profile, pretty much the first steps of your experience at VanHack, right? So, well, lately I've been working on making a lot of improvements to the platform, things that will benefit you in the long run, and the new profile is one of them. So I'm really glad and proud to share that with you today, okay? I hope you like it as much as I did. I sure know a lot of hard work went to it, like a lot of people from the team were involved. The version you see today is, of course, not the final version yet, right? It was their first release. There are still some minor bugs. There's still some minor features missing, but I'll cover pretty much all of it today with you. So you know how to fill it out. You know how to make the best out of your profile. All right? Cool. So this is how this is going to work. I'm going to start by just sharing some slides with you. And then I'm going to move on to the profile itself. So we're going to fill it out together, okay? I'll explain every single section and not only explain the section, but explain the meaning behind that section, right? So why is it there? And how can you fill it out the right way, okay? And after that, of course, guys, I'll open for questions. I'll answer any questions that you have about the profile, about onboarding, and everything like that. And one other thing that I wanted to say is we're going to have a surprise at the end. We're going to have a raffle for a really nice service. So if you're interested in that, I'd say stick to the end and you may get something really nice out of this webinar, okay? Apart from information. All right, cool. So I'll start sharing my screen now. Okay, perfect. So let's go to the slides. It's not going to be a bunch of slides, don't worry. I don't want to make it boring for you. So let's meet your new VanHack profile. I think most of you have already seen it, right? You have used it, you have gone through the onboarding process, but there are lots of information that you probably don't know, and I'll share today with you. Okay, so what's the point of this new profile? Why did we go through all this work? And why are we making you fill out some new sections and update some other sections? Well, first of all, having a complete profile, filling this profile out will give you more visibility in the platform, okay? A complete profile gives you more visibility, gets you noticed faster and by more people, because if your profile is empty, it will never be shown in in candidate searches, right? So a lot of companies use our platform. Our recruiters, of course, use our platform every day. We have a talent pool, and let's say we are looking for an intermediate iOS developer. We're going to use filters for that, right? If your profile is empty, you're never going to be showing that search, okay? And of course, if it's like half complete, you may be shown, but you're going to be like really down the list. So you may not even be seen by people, right? So that's number one. Number two is it may get you more interviews, okay? Why is that? Once your profile is complete and you start applying for jobs, we do have an AI in-house that basically calculates your match to a specific job. So let's say I'm applying for job A, and it's going to say you're 70% match or 90% match. And we do this for every single candidate that has applied to that specific job. Why is that important? There are jobs where we get, of course, like 100 applicants, 150 applicants, or even more than that, right? So in those cases, the recruiter will definitely look like they will actually screen the profiles that have a higher matching to that job, okay? Most of the times, they will not bother looking at the ones who are on the bottom of the list who have a low match, right? Even if sometimes those people may be perfect for the job, but I don't know, maybe they forgot to add skills to their profile. Maybe their job experience, they have 10 years of job experience, but they only listed 2 years on their profile. So it's not a match because they don't have the required years of experience, right? So this is something important. As you fill it out, as you complete it, you're actually maximizing your chances of being matched to a job, right? And last thing, getting noticed is, even if you're not actually like applying for jobs every day, which I personally recommend you to do, okay? Side note here, we add new jobs pretty much every day. Even during this COVID-19 situation, we still have plenty of jobs available. And one tip that I always like to give candidates is, if you're really serious about getting a job abroad, you need to look at the job board every single day, or at least once a week, right? But every single day is what I would recommend, because you want to be one of the first candidates that applies to that job. I'm not sure you guys know this, but once we have a new job on our platform, we have an obligation, or actually like we make a commitment to the company to send them candidates within 24 hours, right? So let's say I just opened a job today. Tomorrow, by this time, I must have sent the company a few profiles for them to review. And what happens is, if the company, let's say they like all the profiles that I've sent them, they will continue the hiring process with those people. They are not even going to want to see other people, okay? So let's say that you applied like a few days too late. Even if you have a really good profile, you have really good chances, you may not even get your profile reviewed. Okay, so that's a tip for you. Do check the job board every day. But in those cases where you can't or you don't, right, but you're still like open to job opportunities, we also have a recommendation system. Okay, so let's say we have the interview pipeline, right, and I open a specific job there. So it shows me a column with all the candidates who have applied. But it also shows me a column with all candidates who haven't applied and are a great match to that job, right? So it shows us about 50 people in the recommended column. So there are times where you may not have applied to that specific job, but since your profile is complete and your match to that job is so high, we may send you an email or even call you, inviting you to participate in that selection process. Okay, that happens very often, actually. So you may get job opportunities even without being really active in our platform. Okay, that's the point. All right. So we're going to go through a step-by-step process now. These are the sections of the profile, okay? We have the basics, we have the photo, professional overview, relocation, social profile, languages, side projects, education, and job experience. So what I'll do is I'll share my own profile here. Guys, this is pretty much all fake information, okay? But just so you guys have something to look at, okay? So first things first, photo. This is important, okay? I mean, if you don't feel comfortable sharing your photo, that's fine. We understand it's not a must, okay? But if you are okay with that, I would say definitely add a photo to your profile. People like to connect names with faces, okay? It's normal, guys. When you're looking through a list of candidates, you actually want to see their faces. You're going to pay more attention. You're going to notice the ones who have photos the most, right? So this is something important. I would definitely recommend you to add a photo to your profile. Second thing, we have here the profile review, English verification, and code verification in a single section at the top, right? Profile review is only available for premium members. So I'm not sure. I think like non-premium members wouldn't see this. Maybe they would. I'm not sure. But English verification and code verification will be shown here for everyone. So English verification, you displayed your level. If you want to restart it for whatever reason, okay, you can just come here, click on English verification. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Click on English verification, and you can see the page. You can read about it. You can read the FAQ. Here's another tip. Always read the FAQ. There are many questions that we have to keep answering that are just like on the top of the FAQ. So do your research before asking a question. And for code verification, same thing. You won't be able to see your scores, the code verification, your scores on your profile anymore. But once you click on see details, here you'll be able to see the tests you have completed, the tests you have in progress. You'll be able to go to the challenge and resume it if you wish. You can start a new challenge, okay? And of course, you can read more about it, just like with the English verification page. We have all the information here, FAQ, and everything like that, all right? But coming back to the profile, let me see if you guys, yeah, looks like everything's going okay. I'm always afraid that my screen has stopped sharing for a reason and you guys aren't seeing what I'm talking, but it seems like you are. Okay, so this is it, okay? You can always consult code scores on code verification and restart our English verification test on the English verification page. Scrolling down here, we have the general section, the basics, okay? Citizenship, basically where you were born, right? If you have double citizenship, which is very common, let's say I am Brazilian and Italian, here you can select where you were born, and down there you'll be able to say that you have an European citizenship as well, right? Current location is where you're living, the country where you're living, okay? Be truthful here. Don't say you're living in Canada if you're not, or Europe or whatever. But this is a very important piece of information that we are starting to collect. Why is this important? For a couple of reasons. So you guys know that we have had a lot of events happening at VanHack, and of course we're always planning new events. So for this year, unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 situation, we had to cancel some events that we had planned, some LEAP events and recruiting missions and everything like that. But once this is over, we'll definitely resume our calendar. So we'll have LEAP events, we'll have recruiting missions, we'll have meetups. And for many of these events, it's really important for us to know where our candidates are located, right? So let's say if we are suddenly aware that we have a lot of candidates living in Ghana, that would definitely be in a roadmap to have a meetup there in the future, okay? Or let's say we have a lot of candidates in another country, Argentina. Maybe it's something we would think, maybe it's interesting for us to have a recruiting mission there. Why not, right? We have a lot of good candidates there, okay? So this is one of the reasons why we ask for your current location. And of course, if we know that you are either in Canada or in Europe and looking for a job, we are going to keep that in mind and do our best to match you to jobs because you're here. Employers can meet you in person, interview you in person. So your chances are really good, and we would make that effort, okay? Gender, if you don't want to mention your gender, you can just select rather not say. But this is important because we have a lot of companies who want more diversity in the workplace. So if you're listening to me right now and you are a woman and you're looking for a job abroad, do make sure your profile says female if you would like it to, okay? Because there's a very small pool of female candidates, women candidates in our platform, and there's a really high demand for women developers, all right? And lastly, phone number. This is an optional field. If you don't want to share it, it's okay. But it's nice for you to add it because there are many times where if we can contact you via email regarding let's say you have an interview coming up and you haven't confirmed your availability yet, we will definitely just pick up the phone and call you to make sure you don't miss that interview, you don't miss that opportunity, right? There are other scenarios as well, but this is one that comes to mind right now. There are times where we call you with opportunities too if we are working on a hurry. We don't want to wait for email responses, which may take a while. All right, so this is it for the general section. Not a lot of new things there. Now, regarding professional overview, this is where we're going to get the most important info from you in an easy, simple way, okay? First thing you will select is your professional headline, okay? This doesn't need to be the role you are working at today. So let's say that you have the knowledge of a full stack developer, but you're working as a front-end developer, okay? But you consider yourself a full stack developer. Well, you can select full stack engineer. Okay, or no, you consider yourself a front end, you select front end, right? Here are pretty much the main roles we have. Don't worry about like very specific details. Let's say, oh, Stephanie, my headline isn't full stack engineer, it's full stack developer. Just select full stack engineer, okay? We're viewing those as the same thing. Or no, I'm not a full stack engineer, I'm a junior full stack engineer. Well, don't worry about seniority levels here, okay? You are going to kind of tell us your seniority levels with the years of experience you have, right? So here, select the one that applies the closest to your professional headline. Avoid selecting other if you have an option here that is very similar to what you would call yourself, okay? Then after the professional headline, it will tell us how many years of experience in total you have been working in IT, okay? So remember, I say in total because you may consider yourself a full stack engineer now, but you started your career as, I don't know, support, okay? You were working with support. So you would consider both of those experiences, okay? It's still IT, you were working in the field, okay? And only IT. So if you started your career, I don't know, as a teacher, don't consider that in your total years of experience because it's not relevant, okay? All right, scrolling down here, leadership experience. If you have ever led a team, as small as it can be, like a 2-people team, that's fine. Select you have leadership experience. There are some roles where companies do want people with leadership experience. Okay, so this will be make it easier for us to locate you in the pool. And if you are open to working in a different role, you can select this. If you're not, guys, I'm a full stack engineer, I want to work as a full stack engineer, don't select this. It's cool, okay? But let's say I'm a full stack engineer, but I can work as a backend engineer, I can work as a front-end engineer or as a full stack one. You don't even need to select this, but well, you could if you want it, okay? You can let us know here. Another common scenario is candidates who are project managers, okay, or just managers right now. Like I'm a manager, but I'm okay with working as a web developer, software developer again, if that means I'll be able to get a job in Canada or Europe, okay? Many candidates have to actually take a step backwards to get a job abroad if they are in a managerial position, right? So in that case, you can say, I am a manager, I'm a product manager, IT manager, whatever you want to say, but I am okay with working as a web developer, software engineer again, right? Totally fine. So this is these are a few of the scenarios why we have created this section here, okay? We are able to understand better what are your intentions, right? Okay, skills. So first thing, you rank the top 3 skills. Right, so as a full stack developer, you may work with Node.js, React.js, and Angular, okay? And you select how many years of experience you have working with each of those skills. And you can also add secondary skills. So a full stack developer probably knows HTML, CSS, jQuery, Git, and SQL servers, okay? Also let us know how many years you have been working with each of them. We have a list of skills of about 2,000 skills. So I'd say pretty much you want to find, you'll be able to find here. You'll see that it opens this list here. You don't have to scroll, guys, to find your skill. Just write it, okay? So if I want to add Ruby, I just put Ruby. If I want to add C++, I just write C++, okay? You cannot delete a skill, but you can always replace it and keep updating it. Well, I know there are people who have way more skills than 8 skills, and we totally understand that. We just need everyone to have the same number of skills so we can improve our matching process, and we can kind of get an understanding of like what you're best at, okay? Like just looking at your profile, what are your areas of specialty? Okay, this is what we want to know. Now, of course, you may have more skills, and we'll be able to get those from your job experiences. I'll get to that there later, okay? But moving forward, relocation, also very straight to the point. So we're asking if you're open to remote jobs. Yes, I'm open to remote jobs. No, I only want relocation jobs. Or no, I only want remote jobs. Okay, so you select whatever you prefer. We have all those jobs. We have remote and we have relocation. So there's not a right choice here. It's really up to you, okay, what you want. So yeah, I am open to remote jobs, and I personally would love to work in Canada, Spain, and the UK. Perfect. So you select the countries. Soon, you'll be able to add more countries, okay? This feature will be available in a few weeks, all right? But these are the ones, just keep in mind, these are the countries we have the largest amount of jobs in, okay? And which country is your first choice? So my first choice personally would be Canada, because I live here and I love here, okay? It could be your first choice, could be whatever it is, okay? This is just, again, so we understand exactly what is your intention. But let's say you select Canada, I will not say, oh, no, this person only wants Canada. I'm not going to contact them for a Spain position, for example. That won't happen, okay, guys? We'll still contact you. We'll just know right away what is your focus, okay, when it comes to relocation, all right? Scrolling down, annual salary expectation. Do some research here, okay? These are the ranges that we work with, okay? So companies in Canada are not offering you, like for a relocation job, less than 70K a year. And yes, there are companies that offer much more than 120K a year, but it's not rare, but it's unusual, okay? Most of them stay within this range from 70 to 120. So look at Glassdoor, for example, pay scale. You'll be able to get an understanding of what a professional with your experience and your skills would be making in Canada, okay? The salary also changes depending like from city to city, but you can put like a national average there and we'll be okay. Of course, when we talk to you, when we interview you for a position, we will let you know if the salary you have selected is maybe a little bit too high for that position, or if you could be asking more. And also, if you get a job offer, you can also always negotiate your salary, all right? So select the one you're most comfortable with. I'm not going to go into salaries here, so please don't make any questions because it's very personal. But one thing that I can tell you is that most candidates, like intermediate to senior candidates, they would be getting from $80,000 to $90,000. Okay, of course, there are people who get much more than that, 90 to 100 and so on, but this is a very comfortable salary in Canada and one that we see very often, right? Same thing with your European salary expectation if you're looking for a European job, okay? So visa status, just let us know. If you don't have a visa, that's not a problem. That's never going to hurt your chances. But if you do, for example, I have an open work, I'm a permanent resident right now. So I'll just select permanent resident, European, I don't have any visa, okay? Why is this important? If you're a permanent resident, for example, that means the company doesn't really need to sponsor you. So it's much quicker, much easier for them to hire you, okay? So if I know this, if I see this in your profile and you have applied to one of my jobs, I'll definitely keep that in mind and mention that to the company. Say, hey, this candidate here, they are perfect for your job and you don't even need to sponsor them. They can start working next week, okay? So that's definitely a plus. Something else that is nice, when you have, for example, a visitor visa and you have applied to a LEAP event, where if you are selected, you need to have a visitor's visa in order to come to Canada. This means that once we see your application, we see that you have a visitor visa, we are more confident in your ability to be able to come to Canada, right? what happens? There are some countries where it's taking like months for you to be able to get a visa to Canada, okay, a visitor's visa, right? So one example is Nigeria. So in many LEAP events, so we always select Nigerian candidates. We have a lot of great Nigerian candidates, right? But it's really sad because sometimes some of them are not able to come to LEAP because their visa isn't ready on time. Okay, so if we know that you already have a visa, that makes the process much easier, right? This valid passport information is also for LEAP. So if you have a valid passport and the date, we just have more confidence that you'll be able to come. And of course, guys, when we have this confidence, we are more confident in selecting you for events as well, okay? Something else we're asking you, it's a new information we're asking you, is what size company you prefer. Again, this is not going to like hinder your chances. So for example, if I select startup and there is a corporate company interested in my profile, the recruiter will never say, no, don't talk to this person because they don't want corporate, okay? It's just something we would like to know what are your intentions and be actually able to actively match your job. So remember when I talked about the recommended column and things like this? So if you selected startup and I found a job, the system found a startup job asking for the skills that you have, it will make that match and show you on that recommended column, okay? If you're actively looking for a job, yes or no, that's very simple. There are people who are not, they join the platform because they just want to see like what's out there. They just want to understand more about the international market, about relocating to Canada or to Europe and things like this. Or maybe they just started a new job and they don't want to leave for the next 6 months because they want to be respectful to their new employers. Any reasons, okay, guys? You can just select yes or no, and we'll keep that in mind when reaching out to you for opportunities. And notice period is how long do you need to give notice to your current company before you can leave, okay? It's not how long it will take you to relocate. We know that changes. That's not what we're asking you. We're asking you what's your notice period. So is it less than 1 month? Is it 2 months? Or is it more than 2 months, okay? All right. Moving forward, social profile, also very straightforward. LinkedIn, GitHub, if you have any personal websites, and if you want to add your resume, okay? You cannot upload your resume. You have to upload it to like a cloud platform like Google Drive, or I think Outlook also has one, or Box, anything like the Dropbox, right? There are a few of them. But anyways, just upload your resume there, get the link, okay? Make sure that with your link, anyone can see your profile. It's very common for us to click on the profile link and it says you don't have permission to see this file, which is a huge bummer, okay? Make sure it's like open for everyone. And then you can paste the link of your profile right here, okay? In the future, you will be able to download your VanHack profile as a resume, okay? So it will be formatted as like the North American resume format. Pretty easy, pretty simple, so you can use in your jobs and you don't have to create a resume just to add to your profile, okay? One question that I get sometimes is, okay, Stephanie, you're asking us to fill out your profile with pretty much every single information that is on my resume. Why are you also asking me for a resume? Or why do I have to fill out a profile? Everything is in my resume already. Well, I'll explain, okay? So for most companies we work with, whenever we want to present a candidate to them, so let's say you apply to this job, I think you're great, I want the company to review your profile, I'm not gonna send them your resume, I'm gonna send them your profile. Okay, and within your profile, so of course the company view is slightly different, but they are able to say, okay, cool, I want to interview this person. They are able to ask more questions to the interviewer. Companies use your profile to make these kinds of decisions, okay? So your resume in that scenario is not really important, right? But there are some companies that have their own ATS. ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. So they have kind of their own interview pipeline, and we have to upload your resumes to that system, Okay, so in that case, the profile doesn't work. We kind of need the resume, right? So that's why we're asking for both right now. But again, like in the future, maybe a few weeks, you will be able to download your profile as a PDF if you wish, and we will be able to do that too. So whenever we have to share your resume with a company, we will just download your profile in a kind of a resume format, okay? So keep this filled out, keep this updated. It's very useful, okay? All right, let me just drink some water. Okay, hope you're liking it. Sorry if I speak too fast. I get nervous. All right, so languages, also a new section. Very simple, guys. What's your level at English? What's your French speaking level? And you can add any other languages, right? So I'm a native Portuguese speaker, I'll add that. I'm a basic Spanish speaker, I'll add that. And any other languages that you have some proficiency level in, okay? Do let us know your English and French level. It's fine, like if you don't speak any French, it's totally fine. If you don't speak English, that's okay too. Be as truthful as you can be, like be honest here, okay? So I would say I have an advanced English level, I have a fluent English level. If you're born in an English-speaking country, you can select native too, it's up to you. Why are we asking you this? This information here, it's not going to replace your English verification, okay? We are still going to keep verifying everyone, right? This information here is just so we can kind of have an understanding of what's the qualification level of our pool, okay? If we have a lot of candidates, for example, with a basic English level, maybe we can do something to help them. Maybe we can provide a service or provide free classes, or we can maybe like tell them about premium, which we have like premium classes and things like this, okay? Or let's say you're a candidate with an intermediate level. I may reach out to you and say, hey, you may be advanced, why don't you take the English verification test? You have a really good profile, you know? Or if you're telling me that you're native, things like this, we just want to get this information from you, okay? Be easier to kind of understand like who you are before you can actually do the English verification step. And for French, it's kind of the same thing. No, our jobs do not require any French proficiency. However, we do work with some companies from Quebec, Montreal, and other cities nearby, where having some kind of French knowledge is nice to have, okay? It would be nice for them to hire someone with some French knowledge because cities are bilingual and things like that. So, for example, if you're a candidate who has an advanced French level and you are applying for a job in Montreal, that might actually help your chances at getting that job, okay? And now we would be able to know that just by looking at your profile, okay? Other languages, optional, but for example, we work with Spanish companies a lot. That's very common. I think we have worked with German companies, Portuguese companies, and other from other countries in Europe. So if you also have some knowledge on any of the languages from those countries, that may be helpful in your applications. Okay. Language certificate, no, this does not substitute, replace your English verification level. And no, this is not required if you're looking for a job abroad, okay? You don't need to take IELTS to get hired by a Canadian company, by an European company, okay, guys? IELTS and other languages certificates are only necessary if you're applying for permanent residency, which is not the case. Like right now, we are not going to apply for a permanent residency, okay? But if you have taken IELTS or CELPIP and you want to just let us know and like let your employer know, okay? You can fill out your grades here. And soon we'll also ask you to upload the certificate just so people don't add whatever numbers there to make themselves look good, okay? It's not available yet, but it will be. Okay, cool. So now let's go to the experience part. Okay, so in the top there, if you guys remember, we asked you about the in the professional section, how many years of total experience you had, okay? So like, why are you asking me this again, Stephanie? Well, here is basically your opportunity to tell us what you did at those jobs, okay? What did you do, for whom did you do, what kind of results did you get, all right? So this is just an example here. So if I'm gonna add a new experience, you're gonna write the company name, okay? The location, so this company is from Canada, or this company is located in Brazil, okay, whatever it is. The size, why are we asking this? Because it's common for us to see like startups saying, okay, a nice to have for me is if a candidate has experience working for a startup, right? So in those cases, when I'm filtering candidates, when I'm looking for candidates, I may use that filter. Okay, show me all, I don't know, Ruby on Rails developers with over 4 years of experience who have worked for a startup before, okay? Then we check those, and then we see the other candidates too, all right? But for those scenarios where it's a nice to have, we'll be able to like find you more easier. Find you easy? Find you more easily? Find you more easily with this information. All right, and same thing with industry. For example, e-commerce companies, they usually like it when a candidate has worked in an e-commerce application before. So if you have, make sure to select that here, so we'll be able to find you, okay? Role title, so what was your title at that company? You can also select other and write your title here. But again, if one of these options here is very similar to your title at that company, don't write it down, okay? So like, oh, I wasn't a backend engineer, I was a junior backend engineer, just select backend engineer, okay, guys? And you can always know if you're working at that role at that moment or not. So if I'm not, I'm gonna select the start and end date. If I am, you just have to check this box, okay? And one thing now you can do is you can add multiple roles for the same company. So let's say you joined the company as support desk, and then you got promoted to backend developer, and then you got promoted to, I don't know, team lead, okay? You can add that same, you can add more roles for the same company here, and we and the companies who view your profile will be able to see your career progression that way, right? Regarding description, now you're going to add them as bullet points, right? So start with a powerful verb. List your main responsibilities or project details. So if that job you developed a really big project, you want to talk about it, you can add project details, and also mention the tech stack you used, okay? And of course, finish with achievements. So for example, I built, implemented, and maintained many user-friendly applications and backend services using Ruby on Rails and jQuery, demonstrating service-oriented architecture and focus on the client's needs. Or I forecast and optimize cloud infrastructure costs, reducing 50% of the total expenses related to the operations. Or developed applications using Python to increase department efficiency, driving efficiency up by 7%, okay? So results, you can show numbers, you can, doesn't need to be numbers, okay, but like how did you contribute, okay? This is an important piece of information to add. And remember when I said, when we were talking about skills, I said, okay, I know some of you, or many of you actually have way more than 8 skills. This is where you can talk about more of your skills, okay? So let's say you optimize cloud infrastructure's cost. Guys, I'm not a DevOps person, okay? But let's just say using AWS and, I don't know, Docker, all right? So after you save this, this is also a feature will be available in a few weeks, but once this is saved, here we'll have some tags. So we'll get all the skills that you added to your job description and showcase them here. So of course, recruiters and companies will see those skills, and they will also be helpful in the matching process, okay? Although they will have a lower weight than the top skills there, okay? The 8 top skills, all right? So for example here, it will definitely show Ruby on Rails, jQuery, AWS, Docker, Python, and Java here as little tags, all right? And you can keep adding experiences. One thing to notice is, did you see how up here I said I have 6 years of experience, and down here there are only 2? So make sure the experience number matches, okay? So if you have over 10 years of experience, you don't need to add anything over 10, okay? Just the last 10 years of experience is okay, and it's still going to match with this number because the last number you see here is 10 plus years of experience, right? So add all of your experiences. It's important that this number matches with what's on top, because the way we have set up our system is whenever we have to filter a candidate or look for a candidate, this is the number that's going to be shown, okay? You can say that you have 10 years up top there, but if you have only added 1 year of experience, my system, my results will tell me that you have 1 year of experience, okay? Make sure it matches. All right, we're almost done. Education, super simple. Let us know what's your level, okay? There's not a bad level. Anything is okay. So I haven't completed high school. I completed high school. I haven't completed a bachelor's degree, have a 2-year degree, bachelor's degree, master's, doctoral, etc. Okay, so let's say I have a bachelor's degree here. You can also add the degree itself. Okay, so here, for example, I added computer science from University of Southern Carolina, the start date, the end date, save. Okay, very simple here. Another very common question: do I need a bachelor's degree to work abroad, to get hired by a company? No, you don't, okay? There are a few companies that make this a requirement. So they say, I want a candidate with a formal education, so I do want someone with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or whatever it is. There are companies who really don't care about it, okay? As long as you have the knowledge and you're able to prove it, you're good to go, right? So as I said, there's no wrong answer here. It will just make it easier to find you in that case when the company does require like a bachelor's degree or anything similar to that, okay? Same thing with licenses. This is not a required field, but if you do have a lot of certifications or licenses, like I know, for example, database administrators usually have a 10, you can add those here, okay, just for information. And the last thing is side projects. Also an optional field. But this can kind of like catch the eye of an employer. Okay, we have seen it happening before. And of course, if you're kind of a junior intermediate developer and you want to like show that you can do, you can code, you can do nice things and etc. Okay, apart from what you do at your job, you can add those projects here. Okay, so fairly simple, the title, description, if you have any links, you can add that too, and the dates. Right? This doesn't need to be necessarily a professional project. So let's say you have experience doing volunteering work. That can also count as a side project, okay? Or you were a keynote speaker in a development meetup, or you organize a meetup at your city, okay? Things like this, they count as side projects, and they usually do catch the eye of those who are looking at your profile, all right? Ooh, okay, I talked a lot. I think I covered the most important information. Last things I want you to keep in mind. After you've completed your profile, do like review it, okay? Check it, make like improvements, make sure that it's professionally written, like there are no spelling mistakes or anything like that. I know many of you are not native speakers. I'm not a native speaker. Many of VanHack staff are not native speakers either. So we make mistakes, okay? It's fine, it doesn't have to be perfect, but like if you can avoid some small mistakes, I'd say it's better to do it. So just like copy your job descriptions, put them on Grammarly or other spell checker tool. Do your best to make it look professional, okay? Make an effort there, all right? And of course, a profile isn't something that you do once and you never look at it again. You're going to get new jobs, you're going to get new skills, okay? You're going to maybe improve your, I don't know, your French level or things like that. So keep coming back to it, keep updating it whenever you have something new going on in your professional life, in your career, okay? Always keep it as updated as possible, right? And the very last thing, if you haven't yet, you must do the English verification as well, okay? The profile is the first step, but without the English verification, you cannot apply for jobs. And one thing that is super important is the first video you will record in your English verification, the intro video, tell me about yourself, that one is shown to companies and to recruiters when they open your profile. And these videos are honestly a hit. Like, we are at the point where we are having to ask candidates who are already verified, who got verified a long time ago, to like do the English verification again, just so that video is available on their profiles, because the companies are saying, I want to see a video for everyone. I mean, this is super nice. I can tell what their personality is like. I can maybe like understand who this person is, besides what's written on their profile, okay? So that's my last tip to you. Do it as soon as you can, okay? It's not a big of a deal, I promise. Some people are afraid of the English verification. You don't have to be, okay? All right, cool. So, right, so now I'm gonna answer some questions here. And at the end, I'm going to talk about the surprise I mentioned, okay? I'm gonna go from top down. Does this information sent to employers? Sometimes you can share specific information in public. Rainier, whatever is in your profile, most of the information that is on your profile is available for employers to see, okay? Some information that are not, for example, we don't show them your salary range, right? This is confidential. This is between you and us, okay? So whatever you have selected there won't be shown to companies. There are other pieces of information as well that we do not display, but like your job descriptions, for example, yes, those would be available to companies, okay? But again, keep in mind, a company or whoever it is can only see the information on your profile if they're logged in on our platform, and not everyone can create an employer account, okay? So we vet every single company that tries to create an account on our profile. So like say, just a hypothetical scenario here, okay? If your own company wanted to like create a profile on our account, we would check them, we would verify them, talk to them before allowing them to see your profile, right? Okay, when you're done, Alonso, if it's possible to access the English verification video, so you can see how good or bad it is. Well, you were able to see it once you recorded it, right? You can always replay it. But no, there's not an easy way for you to do that now. It's a feature that we're working on, okay? In the future, we'll also be able to just change that specific video if you wish. Dinesh said, what if we have uploaded the video 1 year back, and what time? My total year experience was 4 years, and now I have 5 years. Yes, that's fine, Dinesh. Your English verification does expire every 2 years, so every 2 years you would have to record that video again, okay? But one thing to keep in mind is if you tell us now that you have 6 years of experience on your profile, and 1 year from now, we are automatically going to update that to 7 years, okay? The system does this automatically. Julio's asking if it's okay to add a YouTube channel as a side project. Completely, okay? I mean, guys, if you have a YouTube, like a gaming YouTube channel and you're not applying to a gaming job, obviously, it will look kind of weird, but you have a YouTube channel, for example, where you talk about React or where you talk about development. That's cool, okay? I will definitely add that. Ayumidi, I don't think your English has been under review for a week. Send me a DM and I'll check, but we always review videos within 3 business days, and I'm sure it hasn't been a week that your video is under review, okay? Because I just checked this morning. Send me a DM and I'll take a look, okay? Julio's asking if he's allowed to skip code verification. Yes, code verification, guys, is not mandatory. It's a really good and really nice to have, okay? So if you're not a developer, and we say this many times in the code verification page, so as I said before, do read the pages, do read the information that we lay out for you, okay? But we repeat this many times. If you don't work with any of those skills that we have a test for, you don't need to do it, okay? Obviously. All right, Alini, yes, it's shared with companies, and we also mentioned that in the task, okay? We say your video may be shared with companies and recruiters, so look professional and things like this. This is written in the test, all right? And you can retake the test, guys. So if maybe your English has gotten better in the last few months, or there was a significant change in your career, and you want to do it again, you want to do the test again, you can do it again, okay? Every 30 days. Louise, as I said during the presentation, it's not a problem if you don't have a bachelor's degree. Ibrahim, if your English is verified already, you don't need, like, there's not a need for you to do it again, to do the new test, but I do recommend it, so your intro video will be available on your profile, okay? Umar is asking if it's compulsory to have at least one side project. No, that is a completely optional section. You don't need to add any side projects if you don't have any side projects, right? Alejandro is asking, he has experience going back to 2006. Should I add everything? Won't that make the profile too long? Alejandro, I mentioned in the presentation that you should only add the last 10 years of experience that you have. Okay, so you would add from 2010 to 2020, right? You don't need to add the other ones. If you want to add like the other years as well, you can, but you don't really have to write a lengthy job description. Okay, you can make it very short and simple, just to show that you have that extra experience over 10 years. All right. Okay. Meet is asking if they can add personal software development projects. Definitely, you can add those projects on your side projects section. I'm not going to ask any questions about openings, guys, or what are your chances. This is very personal. It varies from one candidate to another. About openings, is there a job for me? Check our job board, okay? That job board is pretty much all the jobs we have available right now, and it's updated daily. Right? So if it isn't there, if there's a job for you today, check tomorrow, check the day after. We're constantly adding new jobs, right? Jewel is saying that he has 5 years in IT, but 8 years in electronics. That's okay. So whenever you're filling out your profile, you're going to say that you have 5 years of experience. Sadiq Kampf is asking, saying, if an applicant is applying for a developer job, with his profile, resume, and side projects, is completing a code verification mandatory for increasing the chances of getting an interview call? It's not mandatory. It's a really, really good nice to have because it sets you apart from the competition, right? So remember, like, job searching, to be very honest with you guys here, it is a competition in a way, okay? You're competing against other people who are also interested in that job, who are also a match to that job. So whatever you can do to set yourself apart is beneficial, right? So as a recruiter, for example, if I had a job with 100 candidates and very similar profiles, I would probably pick the one who had done code verification and who had a good score first, okay? Because I have the validation that that candidate has really good technical skills. And it can also be easier in the long run because we have companies that kind of say, okay, since you have the HackerRank code tests, we are not going to do our own code test. So we can just send what you've done in the code challenge to the company, and that kind of saves you like from doing another code challenge and saves us time as well. Okay. Umad's asking if he can add his HackerRank scores or link his HackerRank profile to a VanHack profile. No, you cannot. Homeo saying that he has Cambridge English certificate. Homeo, we're probably not going to add any other certificates, okay? There are a lot of English certificates. We added the ones that are relevant for Canadian immigration, all right? Tanma is asking if you can take the code test multiple times. This information is also in the code verification page. Yes, you can. You can take the same challenge every 30 days, or you can take different challenges at any time, okay? Gaurav is asking if the jobs in the virtual fair would be different from what's advertised on the VanHack portal. Yes, events jobs are not shown on the VanHack portal. They are not shown on the job board. They are kind of hidden jobs, and the only candidates who have access to those are the ones who were selected for that specific event. Navid's asking if they should apply for jobs or if we apply you automatically according to our skills. No, we never apply your, we never apply you. That sounds weird, but yes, you do have to apply for jobs, okay? If you don't apply for a job, we don't know if you're interested or not, All right, guys. There are some jobs where we check the recommended column, we check for other candidates, and we may like reach out to you with an opportunity, but that doesn't happen all the time, right? If you don't apply for a job, you are never going to get hired. This is being very honest here, okay? That's the first step. If you don't do that first step, you're never going to get a job. It's not just going to fall from the sky, okay? All right. The guy was saying that he applied for a job that is on hold, and he was asked for a cover letter, and they told you that they were not going further. Adedayo, for our jobs at our platform, most companies do not request a cover letter. Okay, I can't even think of a single example here. So it's not really important at VanHack, maybe at other platforms. Bashir, you tried a code challenge almost 4 months ago, but you can't try again to increase the score. You would have to send me a DM. What it looks like is that you're trying to do a test that has been discontinued. So we discontinued our framework tests and practice challenges 6 months ago. So yeah, if you're trying to do them again, you won't be able to. Send me a DM and I'll look into it. I'm only going to answer questions not related to profile, okay? Just to keep this. Okay. Dinesh, about the last thing, okay, about the on-hold jobs, guys. Honestly, if a job is on hold, it's because the company, like right now, they said we need to pause the job search because of many reasons, right? Because right now we're in the midst of coronavirus, we don't have the budget. Or I'm pausing because we are dealing with a lot here at our company, but we want to resume it in 2 weeks, okay? So the on hold always comes from the company. We don't put a job on hold just because we want to. If it's on hold, it means there's a big chance that the company will come back and start hiring again. So you just have to wait and be patient, okay? All right, I think our time is kind of up. So now, guys, you know that as a premium member, you have access to a lot of services. One of them is a profile review, okay? So one thing that we wanted to do for you who are here today till the end is we're going to do a raffle, and 3 of you are going to have a free profile review consultation, okay? So right now, I'm going to get a list of everyone who's still online here, and I'm going to do a draw. Just give me 1 minute. I hope you liked the webinar, by the way. Let me know if you liked it in the comments. It would be really nice to know. All right, so I'm getting everyone here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys here, okay? So you know that there's nothing wrong happening. Just a moment, okay, guys. All right, perfect. So I got all your emails. Cool. So share my screen. Okay, all right, so we have all emails here. I am going to pick a name. Actually, not pick a name. I'm going to pick an email. Okay, cool. So the first person is this person right here. Okay, just gonna write it down here. One more. All right, Ralph. Cool. Ralph. And, oops, one more. All right, Amit. Perfect, so congratulations, guys. Someone from our team will reach out to you, okay, in the next 24 hours. And guys, one last thing I wanted to share is we have created a guide to help you fill out your profile. So of course, I may have talked a bit fast here today, but if you go to the courses section of our platform, there's going to be the International Profile course. If you open there's a ultimate step-by-step profile guide, okay? And here you're going to find everything that I told you today, much more detailed, all right? And very nicely laid out, okay? So you can always refer to this document whenever you have questions about the profile. All right, everyone. So thank you very much for coming today and for participating and listening to everything I had to say. It was really a pleasure talking to you, okay? I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you guys stay safe during this global pandemic. And of course, remember that we are always here to help you, right? So if you have any other questions about like filling out your profile or code verification, English verification, feel free to send me a DM. I will get to them as soon as possible, all right? But thank you very much. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.